Church, we've come together tonight to worship. So I'm going to ask you to join me in singing tonight. Come. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come. Just as you are to worship. Come. Just as you are before your God. Come. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. Come, now is the time to worship. Come, now is the time to give your heart. Come, just as you are to worship. Come, just as you are before your God. Come. Let's sing that verse one more time. One day every tongue will confess you are God. One day every knee will bow. Still the greatest treasure remains for those who gladly choose you now. When is the time to worship? Come. Now is the time to worship. Come. Now is the time to give your heart. Come. Amen. Thank you so much, and you may be seated, Pastor.
Acts chapter 20 gives us a very unique look into the life of the Apostle Paul. Many of you know you don't have to turn there. That's just a reference for you. I'll read it, but you can turn there if you want to. But I'm not. But when the Apostle Paul would go out on his missionary journeys, one of the things that he would do when he would come back is he would call for the members of the church to come together, specifically the elders, and he would call them together to give back a report. So listen to what it says beginning in verse 17. And from Miletus he sent to Ephesus and called the elders of the church. Why? He wanted to give a report back. And it says, and when they were come to him, he said unto them, you know from the first day that I came into Asia, after what manner I have been with you at all seasons, serving the Lord with all humility of mind and with many tears and temptations which befell me by the lying in wait of the Jews. And how I kept nothing back that was profitable unto you, but have showed you and have taught you publicly and from house to house, testifying both to the Jews and also to the Greeks, repentance toward God and faith toward our Lord Jesus Christ. And then he goes on to talk about how he would go on and travel on. And one of the things that I always love doing is once we get back from a mission trip is to actually share with you some of the things that you empowered not only the mission team to be able to do, but the wonderful blessings that you brought to others that are either in times of crisis or needing to hear a word of encouragement or hope. And I want to tell you, I can tell you from our brothers and sisters at Bethel Baptist Church in Canton, if they were here right now, and hopefully before too long, Mr. Bobby will be able to come down, he and Miss Nancy and Maggie, and maybe even Maggie's dad to come down, and I hope they'll be able to share with you exactly how you touched them. It was amazing, all the supplies that we were able to take to Canton. And as soon as those supplies would come in, supplies would be going out. Why? Because they were giving out stuff just freely. There was a question that was asked, and Bobby and I had this conversation. And by the way, for those that are here, we have some that could not be here tonight from our mission trip. They're in different places, something about grandbabies having birthdays and stuff, and I told them you don't want to miss those. And but I talked to Bobby, and he asked me, he said, Jeremy, he said, have y'all ever had a problem with when things happen, people start saying, well, you know they're just going to grab that and go and sell it somewhere. You know that they're just hoarding that and they're going to do this and all. And I said, yeah, I understand that. And he said, you know what I told, and Bobby's the chairman of deacons there at Bethel. He said, you know what I've told our teams? Just give it away in Jesus' name and he'll deal with them. But here's the reality. I didn't see anyone up there that didn't have a need for what was being handed out to them. The need there is extremely great. I serve as our director, with our director of missions, Brother Keith Box. I serve on the Mission Development Committee this year, and he and I are going to be meeting this week on how Marion County Baptists can engage. But I want you to know, I already told Bobby that we as a church are going to continue to love on them. Don't know exactly what that looks like yet, because things on that ground are changing rapidly. And I want you to see exactly what all we did. Now, you're going to get to watch this video. Now, I have to tell you this out front. I am not from the pulpit endorsing St. Nick's Farms. Now, if y'all don't know who that is, that's Larry Don Nix. He just made a video, and it's too good not to share. Now, disregard the little blurb that he puts out trying to push his website and the YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe to it, you go ahead, but that's not a church endorsement, okay? It might be close, but I want y'all to see this video and actually see firsthand what we encountered. Brother Durain, do you mind hitting that light for me right back there? Go ahead, Brother Philip.
Well, hello everyone, this is Larry and you're watching St. Nick's Farms on YouTube, and here I am today in Canton, Tennessee, and what we're doing here in Canton is helping with some of the cleanup from Hurricane Helene, and we're up here with a 9-member team from our church, and this is kind of the intro and then the ending also to the video, but just going to show you a little bit what we've been doing and what we've been working on over the past couple of days. We will be leaving out tomorrow, headed back to Alabama, and it's been a really good and really it has been an enjoyable time to help these folks up here We've been staying here at the Bethel Baptist Church, and then we've been going down every day and working at the Bethel Christian Academy. And so you'll see some of that in the video. And again, this will serve as the end to this video also, because we didn't really have time to do an effective intro to it and then do an ending to it. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with a friend. And as always, I would be honored if you would subscribe to our channel. So let's get started, and then in a little bit you'll see the ending. It's 7:17 local time, and we've come down to downtown Canton, North Carolina, and this downtown area is a lot different than where we're staying out at the church that we've come up to. But this whole area here, this is the river that flooded this whole area, and all of this area is basically underwater. This is the school. Happens to be a Christian school that we're going to be working in tomorrow.
So another thing we're going to be doing is there's a bathroom down there and a bathroom here that I don't know if they started banking.
Like walking through Abraham.
There's one down yonder the same way.
Oh, Abraham.
That's what I was talking about.
That's that one more than other one. There's another one to look at on the other side of it. Yeah. I've got the window company coming tomorrow too. Going to give me some quotes on fixing the windows.
So there's gonna be several crews here tomorrow, including us?
I don't know.
Right, I get it.
I don't know who's going to be here. Hey, let me tell you, we had a guy come in and free-handed that. Free-handed. I got you, shoot it. Putting this place together. Collegiate science school. There's only like 1 or 2 other high schools in western North Carolina that's a collegiate science school.
Lighting, right, lighting.
College line, got the college line on it. And,
There you go.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Mr. Larry getting started.
Everybody's found big.
Yep.
This is the lower floor hallway. All of this area was underwater up to the first floor level. Mr. Bobby, chairman of the deacons. You can see Mr. Bobby told me that the mud was about 4 inches deep. He used a skid steer, actually a mini skid steer in here to clean this mud out. These guys, what they're doing is taking down the track of the suspended ceiling because the engineers have instructed them that they're going back up to the concrete and not have any ceiling, any suspended ceiling in this area here. Taking wires out of the top here and just peek into the restrooms. You can see the mud and all on the floor and mud. These labs are completely full of mud on the mirrors. And you can see around the walls. Okay, here I am with Brother Jeremy, our pastor, and what's your thought? What's your initial impression? And now that we've been working for a day, Brother Jeremy, tell me what you think.
First of all, walking in, you seem like it's overwhelming and you're wondering how in the world are they going to be able to do this? But then you start seeing the resiliency of the people and you realize they're just like we are back in Alabama. They're just hard workers who see something before them and no task is too great for them. And they're ready to they got a vision. And that's what's awesome, is they want to be back in here, hopefully by Christmas. And it's going to be a lot of work. One thing I'm learning about all these folks from North Carolina is they're not afraid of work.
One of the first things that always comes to mind when I see something like this happen is which stick do we pick up first?
Right. Where do you begin?
Yeah, where do you begin?
Where do you begin? Where do you end? But then you start seeing the little projects just start being completed. Then you start saying, hey, this can be done. This can be back even better than what it was before. So, a lot of work.
Probably in the background you can hear the noise of the pressure washer. And is little Maggie running that pressure washer this
She
morning?
is.
How old is Maggie?
15.
15. So,
Not afraid of work.
yes, and so that's what it's all about. And I just, in the day and a half that we've been here so far, have just seen how this thing is, like you said, how it's begun to kind of come together, and it's not over, and you know, we'll go back home to our houses and everything, and these folks will stay and work.
That's right.
Over the next few days. I don't care what it is, whether it's farming, a natural disaster, or just a hobby. Tractors play a big part in our lives and what we do. And there's a gentleman who's come down and has volunteered his little Massey Ferguson to move some material here at the school. I wanted to go down and see if I can get a little bit of video on him moving that material around. On my way around, I just want to get a quick video of the mud that came out of the school itself. This was mud from on the floor of the first floor of the school, and you can see out here where they were dumping in this area here. The mud is about, I would say it's 2 foot deep in that area, and this all came out of the school down on the first floor. Then we can come on over here and we can see the ball field, the baseball field, and it is covered. I mean, it's just solid mud. And then look over toward the backstop, and it is down about halfway down. Some of it's actually down over on the distance, and then the dugouts. And you look out across the infield areas again. Here in the outfield, just I don't know how thick it is, but it's a pretty thick layer of mud, and I don't know what the white thing is out there. I can't make out just exactly what that is, but the water basically came to where that line of cars is up there. And even though the river is on this side over here of the school, according to some of the locals here, the river actually changed directions and come down in this direction across through here and across this side of the school itself. Well, I was going to get some video of the gentleman on this little Massey Ferguson, but he has, I think he's gone in. Maybe it is lunchtime and everybody's been inside. This little 1030 Massey Ferguson with a 1016 loader on the front end. Looks like it has been used a lot, and not necessarily abused, but used and probably enjoyed over its lifetime so far. This is Bobby, and Bobby and his wife Nancy have basically been our hosts here this weekend. Really good folks. Loading up and getting ready to go.
Oh, no, I've never welded. I've never done it.
Oh, you're good. You're right. Gotta get it going.
Up in the distance here, you can see the river that comes down through these fields, and you can see the in the distance there, you can see where the debris and what have you. So all of this area here was underwater over my head where I'm standing. And on this side, this field here, fortunately they had harvested their crops off of it, and yet you can see the amount of mud, dirt, and debris and what have you that's still in the field. So it's going to take some time for everything to recover, and it's just a matter of time for these good folks up here in North Carolina. Some more of the work that we're doing here at the church.
It don't take long.
They got termites, I just saw it run out.
That may be. I'm not gonna tell you that, that may be rather than get on the phone. Well, but one of my concrete.
What we're doing in this area is taking the paneling off, and I think they will be converting this to a outside pavilion.
All right, if I could get the rest of our team to come up here. There you go. Thank you, Ryan. For those of the team that are here, y'all come on up. Come on up. Got a few questions for you. There were 9 of us total that went, and all the others skipped out. They didn't want to come to the hot seats with the pastor tonight. But no, Larry Don, I told him, I said, you do realize the one who takes all the pictures never worked. But no, even Brother Larry Don even worked. And I can't speak enough about the team that we took up there, because they did everything that was asked of them and went above and beyond. And I know they were tired. And the reason Larry Don come down the hallway to my room is I knew what was coming. He didn't. And he was up at 3:45 in the morning, walking the halls, going outside, doing all these things. And I'm like, I've learned something about the mission field. If you can rest, you better rest. Because I guarantee these men can tell you it was a lot of work. But I'm going to pass the mic around. Dalton, tell us a little bit about what you experienced up there and what stood out to you.
Well, when we first got there, it was, you know, we walked into that building full of stuff, and it was like kind of eye-opening, because you walk in and you see all these people doing, there's different ladies at different tables, and they're like, okay, start setting this here, this here, this here, and they've got this system going, and there's a lot of stuff. But not only that, but the people that were coming in, one thing that stood out to me was the whole community was like, if you've ever seen God move, you've seen God move somewhere like that. And the whole community, the Lord was everywhere, all through everybody that came in and went out. And it wasn't, you know, Brother Jeremy said it best, especially when we went to the school in the video, you don't know what you're walking into. You just walk in and you're like, where do I start? Where do I even begin? And to me, what I noticed was we all kind of began together. We worked together, and as a group, we conquered a lot of things. But I saw the Lord move a lot that week, and it was a lot to me, because you walk into you go to this community and you see all this stuff that's happened, and you're like, what if that was at my house? What if that was at home? What if that was my family that was missing members and stuff like that? And it really gets to you. It really makes you still meeting us at that school. And even kids, teenagers, was working their tails off. Like that Maggie girl that was on the video, she ran that pressure washer better than anybody I've ever seen run one. It was constant. It was an everyday thing. And there was 2 other boys that was there as well. Well, 3 total, but these other 2 boys was there as well, and they were, you know, taking lockers apart or just wherever they could help to do the little things that was helping with the big things later on. And it was eye-opening. It was very amazing to see the Lord work.
I was pretty much impressed when we first got there of the volume of help that had been brought in. We brought in a trailer, and we thought, oh, we got a lot of stuff. Well, we got there, and people had traveled from Outer Banks, I guess it's a pretty good trip in, with a full truck of supplies and food. So then I realized that a lot of people were coming together to supply and help this community. We were spared the worst of the worst. Brother Jeremy can tell you that there was an entire community just washed away. And to think of how blessed we are, and to have, you know, water shut down for 9 days here, but we didn't lose our homes with that water washing us away. And to see the power of what water can do was really, it was more than you could imagine. In the pictures that we saw, Larry Don did a great job of videoing, but that doesn't tell the magnitude of what you could see there. To experience it, it's kind of like an aftermath of actually a hurricane. If you've ever been in the aftermath, you see a lot of devastation. But if you were in that hurricane, it's a totally different story. But we were tired when we were finished. And yes, I did work. I know there were several things on Facebook that showed me resting in between stints of work. And yes, Larry Don did do some work. I saw him working as well. But thank you, church, for assisting us going. And that was really something. Thank you.
David?
Hi, I'm kind of new. My name is David Kendrick. Some of y'all haven't met yet. But this is my first experience as part of a church and actually doing a community thing and coming together and experiencing the Lord's love is just something that's just absolutely amazing. Like they were speaking about when we first got there, you know, we thought we brought a lot. We had a whole trailer full, but the Lord was already working in that area already, and there was so much there, and there was already so much love, and so many people reaching out and trying to help, and it was just an absolutely amazing thing. When we got to the school, it was kind of overwhelming when we first walked up. I mean, you could see there's a water slide out of nowhere. I have no idea where the water slide came from, and it didn't look like they had a water park anywhere nearby, you know. So it's just seeing things just completely misplaced, and just knowing that school was more or less underwater. I mean, luckily the top it was a two-story building, but if it was a one-story building like with our elementary school, the whole school would be underwater. So just seeing that and several other buildings right across the street from the school, there's a brewery, which come to find out that's what the news covered was the brewery, not the school, which was kind of upsetting. But looking at it, you could actually see through the building. There was absolutely nothing in the building. There was just two big, those distilleries, whatever you call them, just sitting in front of the window so that nobody would go into the building because everything else was gone. So it was crazy. But I got to meet a lot of good people, and I got to hopefully make some good friends and some interesting acquaintances from North Carolina. Brother Bobby, that guy's a hoot right there. I like cutting up with him. I just want to say thank y'all. Thank you for allowing me to do that, and let's just keep helping when we can and where we can.
Did y'all see the guy in the green hat in the video? That's Gail. Gail, to my knowledge, has probably handed out 12 cases of New Testament Bibles now. If you saw the lady that was there with him, every person that came in, he was asking them, have you ever had a New Testament? Are you a veteran? Are you part of this or that? And he was asking them questions, but then he would be like, I'm not only going to give you one, I'm going to tell you how to use it. And he started witnessing to every person that came in. I asked Bobby, I said, Bobby, how many people do you think he's witnessed to? And Bobby said, oh, Jeremy, I can't even count. He said, there's no telling how many people have heard Gail witness to them. And so the work was going on, but then there was witnessing going on. So here's a question I have for each of you. How were you changed by going on that trip? Put you on the spot, David.
Thanks. I think watching it in motion is something that you can watch it on TV all you want to. You can hear it from other people, but actually feeling it, witnessing it, and following through with it is just something that's absolutely amazing, and it's definitely a life-changing situation.
Kind of like what I alluded to earlier, is I was humbled not only by the opportunity to go, but to see what we could accomplish, but yet what we have here and they don't have there. So you're humbled to realize you're overblessed. I guess I'm going to use that word, overblessed. I'm going to write that down so I remember it. But the change was more or less to see that there are many people in need, not only physical needs, but yes, spiritual needs as well. We saw many people come in collecting things they needed, and they would just come in with a bag and collect what they could carry out, and they would leave. Don't know where they were going. I hope they had a place to go. So I think the big change for me was really humbling.
The biggest change for me is, which the Lord's been on my heart for a while about this, and He showed it to me more on this trip, is God's been putting me towards missions for a while, and every time I see something going on, and I'm like, Lord, I wish I could help those people. I want to be a light in their day. Maybe I may not never see them again, or I may not run into that person again, but to know that we as a group went down there, and some of the people that we met and some of the smiles that we received, and not only that, but the love that we received, that's a real reassuring thing to let you know that even in the world we live in today, that maybe it's not the greatest world. It may not be what it used to be, but God is still God. And God's been showing me that here lately. Every time I turn around, I get anxious, or I get wound up, or I'm, Lord, why this? But God lets me know, hey, I'm still God, and I'm going to still be God. When the end comes, God's still God. And when you go into that community and you saw all that stuff, and you know that the Lord is still the Lord, you know, I myself, like each night I was praying, I was like, Lord, show me why. Show me this and show me why you have this for me. And God will move when you want him to move. But you have to move when he asks you to move. If God puts it on your heart to do something, do not quench the spirit. If he says to get up and dance and do a jig, you get up and dance and do a jig. Mm-hmm. That's just the Lord telling you, hey, I want you here. And God has really worked in my life here for the last month or so, telling me, hey, I need you right here. I don't want you over here or over there. I need you right here.
Anything else y'all want to add? I'm not going to keep you on the hot seat too long.
I just want to tell you that I watched some people work, and I want to call David out because his work ethic was incredible. Some of the things he did, I said, why did he do that? Oh, they helped that. Well, he didn't have to do that, but he did. So working above and beyond. I had to call David out on that, maybe embarrass him a little bit, but he worked hard.
You know you're in a church, right? You're not supposed to lie like that in church.
And a deacon. No. All right, guys, thank y'all so much. Church family, I don't believe that things are a coincidence, and you've already heard me speak about driving up to the school once they opened up the route that we could go in on that second day. And as we're driving down through there, I just turn and look, and there is Sorrells Street. Isn't that amazing? I'm driving on Sorrells Street, working across at the school. But there's more things that are not just coincidence. Miss Kim called me just a day or so before and said, Brother Jeremy, I know there's probably not any ladies going. She said, but look, God has just put this on my heart so much, I can't sleep. I got to go. I've got to go. And she said, if you tell me I can't, I'll be disappointed. And I was like, well, I'm not going to disappoint her. If she wants to go and she wants to put up with all of us, I mean, there'll be other ladies up there and stuff. But Miss Kim went and she worked, and let me tell you, she worked as hard as us men, if not harder. Little Maggie could work circles around us. But to just see someone obedient to God's call. But then there was another thing that was a divine appointment. Many of y'all probably don't know this, but Brother Chris Franz has a daughter that lives in Canton, North Carolina. And he called and he said, Brother Jeremy, is there any way I could go? He said, I know we'll go and work, we'll go and do this. And he said, I know that's my primary function. He said, but I have not heard from her, hadn't heard from her family. Is there any way I could go? And I said, Chris, you can go. Let's go. And after being able to work, and when we got a little lunch break, when everybody was in, I said, Chris, come on, I'm going to take you to go find your daughter. And we went up on the mountain to where they were at, and he got to have a discussion that he told me when he got in the car, and I don't mind to misquote him, or I'll try not to, but he said, Brother Jeremy, that's the first cordial conversation I've been able to have with my daughter and her mother in 15 years. That was worth the whole trip. And to just see God do a work of grace. Now, that's Brother Paul and Miss Fern's granddaughter. And so I don't believe in coincidence. I believe God had us there for a reason. I mean, just the Sorrells Street blew my mind, okay? And like I told Larry Don, that's because they hung some of my family in the big oak tree that was out there, I guess. I don't know. But no, it was just amazing to see. And I want to thank you because many of you gave to our missions fund to send us and stuff. And look, there's going to be opportunities to go back. Brother Bobby has already contacted me this past week and told me they have an industrial dehumidifier that's coming in, which means they've got all that pressure wash that you were seeing. They've been pressure washing that constantly every day. All that's got to be pressure washed, and once it's pressure washed, then they treat it and dehumidify it. They have that industrial dehumidifier that is coming in that will dehumidify that whole building, 25,000 square feet in the week. It's just a miracle, and God's providing that through a gentleman who owns a company that will do that for them, which means once that is done, they're going to be ready for crews to come in, spray foam, insulate all the way up. Can y'all believe 14 and a half feet up was how far that water was inside that building? It lacked 6 inches from destroying that beautiful gymnasium that you saw. they're trying to get those kids back in there to where they can have a sense of normalcy. They're wanting to do it before the first of the year. I know that seems like, wow, how are they going to be able to do that? And it's like you've heard us say, how do you do that? One little piece at a time. As a matter of fact, someone had a little humor. They took some mud and wrote on the wall, I ate half the elephant and got full and went home. How do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece. But to see how that community is coming together, because just down the road, less than 5 miles, Clyde, North Carolina still did not have power when we left. They were still finding people when we left. They're still finding people in mudslides and things even to this day. And even in the midst of all that disaster, I'm reminded, like I said this morning, that nothing can separate us from the love of God. And to walk into that church and see brothers and sisters in Christ that were struggling, still ministering to people as they were going, folks, that's the gospel. That's Jesus being hands and feet, and you were a part of that. At our associational meeting, it was great to be able to bring a recommendation before the whole association that $7,500 from our local association was sent to Alabama Disaster Relief. We give to our association. As a matter of fact, I can proudly say we support our association by the greatest monetary sum of all the churches in Marion County. You do that. So thank you. Thank you for supporting disaster relief at the state level. Why? Because we had crews in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee serving meals, bringing those shower units in, bringing water and relief because you gave. And so thank you for all that you've done. And on behalf of that team that went for First Baptist and our community and all the ones, our EMA, I got to give a shout out to our EMA director. He gave us over 1,600 pounds of liquid disinfectant to carry up there to be used. Probably anywhere close to 20 to 30,000 examination gloves that would be used for cleanup and for sanitary things. Just phenomenal how our community came together. And to see that, it's great to be a part of it. So I want to do something a little different tonight, if y'all allow me to. We're going to close with a time of prayer tonight. And we're going to pray for Canton. We're going to pray for Bethel Baptist Church and their pastor, Pastor Kilby. He's been there for 44 years. Nobody run him off. But they have been blessed, and they're being a blessing to the community. And I told Bobby we would pray for them. So, Brother Tommy, if you don't mind, I'm going to let you come up and just play a little something. Brother, I know you probably had an invitation ready, but we're going to just close in prayer. So if you want to come down front and you want to get down front over the altar or wherever, you can come. If you want to sit on the front pew, you can come. But let's just pray for those who are still in North Carolina and those areas and their families. And I'll let Brother Tommy play for a while. Then I'll close us in a word of prayer together, and then we'll dismiss. And may God be glorified as we continue to go with the gospel.